October 25th, 2:14 a.m. Somewhere in the Caribbean. The sea is black glass. No moon, no stars. Only the low throb of twin diesel engines and the hiss of water sliding past a fiberglass hull that sits 3 feet above the waves and 8 feet below. Inside the Narco-Sub La Bestia. For men breathe recycled air that tastes of battery acid and fear. The pilot, a 19-year-old kid from Guayaquil everyone calls El Flaco, keeps one trembling hand on the yoke and the other on a dead man's switch wired to scuttling charges. If the U.S. Navy finds them, the sub and its 7-ton cargo of crystal meth vanish in 90 seconds. If the cartel thinks they talked, their families vanish in 90 minutes. A single red bulb illuminates the cargo bay. The bricks are wrapped in green plastic, stacked like gold bars. 7 tons. Street value $1.4 billion. Enough to keep an entire U.S. city awake for a year. El Flaco checks the GPS. 0 degrees 12 minutes 14 N. 77 degrees 8 minutes 42 W. 41 nautical miles from the prearranged drop buoy. 41 miles from freedom. Then the radio crackles. One burst of static, then a voice in Spanish so calm it's terrifying. La Bestia, change course 270. Ahora. They know. The voice belongs to El Fantasma, the ghost who runs the fleet. El Flaco's blood turns to ice. They know. He never finds out who they are. Because at that exact moment, 30,000 feet above him, a U.S. Navy MQ-4C Triton drone pivots south and begins a silent, lethal descent. The invisible web, 6 months earlier. Envigado, Colombia, 3,000 feet above sea level, hidden under a working banana plantation. General Ramon Vasquez, ex-Venezuelan army. Now, the cartel's Minister of War stands in a concrete cathedral of a lab. Stainless steel reactors the size of subway cars bubble and hiss. The air is 40 degrees Celsius and smells of iodine and death. He is watching the final test batch crystallize. 99.7% purity. Blue-white shards like Arctic ice. A lieutenant hands him a satellite phone. Shanghai just cleared customs. 50 tons of precursors. Manifest says, pharmaceutical intermediates. They sail in 8 days. Vasquez allows himself half a smile. Route them through Puerto Cabello. Tell Tren de Aragua their cut is ready. And tell the Ghost Fleet to prepare 12 boats. We are going all in on the October moonless window. He does not know that every word is being recorded by an FBI microphone hidden inside the air conditioning duct, placed there 4 nights ago by a maintenance worker who now lies in an unmarked grave. USS Gerald R. Ford, Caribbean Sea. Task Force 80 War Room, 72 hours before the interdiction. Captain Elizabeth Harper stares at a wall of screens. One shows thermal ghosts. 12 fishing trawlers moving in perfect formation. Engines cold, running dark. Another shows a submerged heat bloom, the Narco-Sub La Bestia crawling at 6 knots, 20 meters down. FBI Special Agent Jack Reeves, former Force Recon, face like chipped granite, leans in. That sub is the keystone. If we miss it, the whole load still reaches Houston. 5 billion on the street. We get one shot. Harper's voice is quiet. Then we don't miss. She turns to the room. Rules of engagement. Non-lethal EMP only. We need prisoners who talk. But if they hit the scuttle switch, she lets the silence finish the sentence. The clock starts now. Aboard La Bestia. The air is down here is 48 degrees Celsius. CO2 scrubbers are failing. El Flaco hasn't slept in 50 hours. His co-pilot is vomiting blood, early organ failure from solvent fumes. They are running on GPS dead reckoning because surfacing for a satellite fix would paint them on every radar from here to Florida. At hour 34, the inertial navigation glitches. They are 2 miles off course, drifting toward a U.S. Navy exercise box. El Flaco makes the decision that will haunt him forever. Surface for 30 seconds to grab a GPS fix. The moment the snorkel mast breaks the waves, the Triton drone, callsign Reaper 6, locks on. In the Ford CIC, a young lieutenant whispers, "We have positive ID. Launch the wolves." For MH-60R Seahawks lift off into pitch black, flying nap of the Earth at 150 knots. Each carries a SEAL assault team and an experimental airborne EMP cannon codenamed THOR. Their target: the Ghost Fleet spread across 400 square miles of ocean. On the lead helo, callsign Hammer 1-1, SEAL Lieutenant Razor Morales checks his watch. T-minus 18 minutes to the first EMP burst. Below them, the cartel trawlers have no idea death is coming at 140 knots. 2:03 a.m. The sky ignites with invisible lightning. THOR fires. A directed electromagnetic pulse rolls across the wave tops like a silent thunder. 12 cartel vessels die at once. Engines quit. Radios go dark. Navigation screens blink out. Panic erupts on every bridge. On El Fantasma, the flagship Miguel, the scarred Sicario from the opening, sprints below deck, screaming for the crew to scuttle. But the scuttling requires electrical power. There is none. Fast ropes slap the decks. SEALs pour aboard in night vision green, suppressed rifles barking precise double taps. Miguel makes it to the cargo hold, raises an AK, and takes 3 rounds center mass before he can pull the trigger. 15 tons of meth, still in banana crates, are now property of the United States government. Act 6, the sub. La Bestia never sees the attack coming. A second, tighter EMP pulse, tuned for underwater propagation, fries every circuit on board. The sub wallows powerless, beginning to sink by the stern. Inside, El Flaco claws for the dead man switch. His co-pilot is already unconscious. 30 meters of black water above him. No propulsion. No air recirculation. He has 90 seconds of consciousness left. Then the SEALs come through the hatch like demons, drag him out, slap cuffs on wrists that are already turning blue. He is crying when they break the surface. Not from fear. From relief. Act 7, the lab. Simultaneous raid. Envigado, 4:17 a.m. local. Navy MH-60S Knights insert 2 FBI HRT stacks on the plantation roof. The first breach charge blows the skylight. Flashbangs cascade into the lab like deadly snow. Vasquez is in the control room, pistol in hand, watching live drone feeds of his fleet going dark one by one. He knows the end when he sees it. He puts the pistol under his chin. But an HRT sniper's .300 Win mag round takes him through the shoulder first, spinning him like a rag doll. Cuffed, bleeding, still alive. They want him to talk. He will. Eventually. 48 hours later. Press conference, Washington, D.C. The Hall. 22.7 tons of finished crystal methamphetamine. 47 high-value arrests, including General Vasquez. $569 million in precursor chemicals seized in Miami and Houston. 12 vessels and 1 narco-sub captured intact. Street value disrupted, just over $5 billion. But in a windowless room in Quantico, El Flaco, the 19-year-old pilot, stares at a photo of his mother and little sister and whispers the coordinates of 3 more subs. Still at sea. The war isn't over. It just went deeper. Subscribe if you believe the U.S. Navy's triumph on the global front lines will continue.